Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I'm Ashley Sledge, and let's talk horror. So today I'm going to do my review on Elevation. A little synopsis of the film. A single father and two women venture from the safety of their home to face a monstrous creature to save the life of a young boy. So I'm going to talk about the positives of this movie, the negatives, and then I am going to spoil it a little bit. So if you haven't seen Elevation, please go check it out and then come back and watch this video. But for now, let's get into the positives. Some of the positives, the cinematography is beautiful. It's of the mountains, it takes place in Colorado, and it's just very visually pleasing. I love seeing the shots of the mountains. The score, it really does intensify the feeling of just dread and loneliness. They're stuck up on this mountain, and though there's people up there with them, but it just feels so lonely, like they're stuck up there because they are. Character development, the characters, you really care about them, especially your main characters. You don't want to see them get hurt, you don't want to see them die, and they were developed really good. There is an amazing father-son relationship. You really feel like they're father and son, and that the father genuinely cares about his kid. You know, he's all he has left. And I'll get more into that in the spoilers, but you love the relationship between the father and son. Also, there is this intense scene with the ski lift. Talk about heights and monsters coming at you. It's very intense. You're on the edge of your seat the entire time. It's really great. And the monsters, they look really good. I love the point of view shots from the monsters chasing their victims, and just the sounds they make, they are horrifying. So it's really scary. So those are my positives. Now let's get into the negatives. So some of my negatives, it can be slow moving, especially between the action shots. It feels really slow because the action is so intense, and then when they're just walking from place to place, it feels kind of slow. And although the story is told well, it has been told many times before. It really reminds me of a mixture between The Walking Dead and A Quiet Place, which isn't a bad thing at all. But the story has been told before. Nina, she never talks about her family, which is weird to me, being a mother. I get it, probably feel the feeling of loss, but at the same time, it's like I always talk about my kids. And then there's a part where Nina catches up and she's there when she's needed, and it's just like, how did she get there so fast? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then when the monsters, when they die, it just looks so silly. And it's just very underwhelming because the monsters are scary. So their deaths just look silly to me. So those are my negatives. Now I am going to spoil the film. All right, guys, I'm going to spoil Elevation now. So please, if you haven't checked it out, go watch it and then come back here and watch my spoilers, please. The monsters, they cannot go above 8,000 feet. So as long as you're 8,000 feet or above, they cannot get you. They cannot be killed by any regular bullets. They have this like shell that no bullets can penetrate. So that's scary. And they can't see either. They're like these bug looking things, these huge bug looking things, and they're very scary looking. They can detect CO2. So when you're exhaling, they can see you exhale. So as long as you're not breathing, you're okay. But if you're not breathing, you're not really okay, so. Ben, he's one of our main characters. He has to leave the mountain to get filters for his son's oxygen machine. His son was a preemie, his lungs weren't developed, so he has to wear oxygen at night. And he asks a lady named Nina, she's a physicist, and she knows the most about these monsters. She researched them, and so she's the perfect person to take with you. But they kind of have this strained relationship because Nina had this other mission and it got his wife killed. Even though his wife really wanted to be a part of this mission, she was ready to fight these monsters so her son had a better life. But Ben isn't happy about that, which why would he be? His wife is dead. And then we have Katie, who was Ben's wife's best friend, and she hates Nina for what she did. She feels like she's the one that got her friend killed, and she definitely holds a grudge to that. So they're all on this mission. Unfortunately, Katie, she does get killed by one of the monsters, and Nina feels really bad about it, as does Ben. They do get the filters for the oxygen machine, and Nina says, we have to go to my laboratory. She wants to make the perfect concoction to put on these bullets to be able to penetrate these monsters' shells. So they get to the laboratory. Nina's taking too long because she's mixing all these different concoctions and she can't figure out which one she needs. So Ben has to leave to get back to his son. She says, go. She's, working on this concoction, and Ben is on his way back, and he is almost about to get devoured by one of the monsters when luckily Nina shows up with the perfect mixture for the bullet, and she shoots the monster and it just goes poof. And we find out that these monsters are man-made. So now they have a concoction to kill them. So now they're going to fight these monsters. And I talked about it earlier, how she was at the right place at the right time. She must be really, really fast. But overall, this movie, it was exciting. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I had a good time with it. I liked the characters. I love the cinematography. And it was intense. I felt like I was on the edge of my seat for a lot of the movie. So 4 out of 5, I feel like, is a good number for this movie. Thank you guys so much for watching my review on Elevation. And please, if you haven't already, go check out the movie. I know I've said that a couple of times, but I feel like it's worth a watch. And if you haven't, please follow Sledgehammer Horror. Our links are down in the description. And as always, keep talking horror, stay who you are, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.